we started.
For the billionth time, this is the 2-Up Podcast.
Why are you yelling?
I don't know. I yell all the time.
This is 2-Up Podcast. We're another movie review. We're talking about the 1990 movie
Flatliners.
Flatliners. They do have a remake that came out in
2017.
2017, yep.
2017 remake. We did the original one. Cast we'll get into in a minute. Probably should start with cast for
Yeah, honestly,
because there's no reason to not start with cast when we talk about the movie. We normally try to introduce the people. Anyway, the movie, so we'll just start with cast. Very good cast, especially for the 1990s. Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland, Julia Roberts, Oliver Platt.
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, it's really sad thoughts.
Yeah, you said Kevin Bacon. I was like,
I was so down.
Great cast, really. They were especially with Kevin Bacon and Kiefer Sutherland. They were all over the place back then.
Oh yeah,
it was the Brat Pack. Yeah, the end of the Brat Pack era.
They were around Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Tremors.
Yeah. Oh god, Tremors.
Probably. When he in Footloose.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon was definitely in Footloose.
And then Kiefer Sutherland was in like the Young Guns and
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Stand By Me. He was in that as well.
I'm just glad you guys said the names because I just wrote initials. Like I'll remember the names, and for some reason I saw KS and was like Kevin Spacey. I'm like, that's wrong. That's definitely wrong.
It's like he would do things to the dead bodies.
Maybe.
They were students.
Necrophilia is
the acting. I did read because I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Same.
And if you looked on the X-ray thing, it gave you a fun fact. I don't know if you've seen the fun fact.
Oh, no.
The fun fact was Val Kilmer was actually, he turned down the role of Wayne Nelson, which was Kiefer Sutherland's. I could have been Val Kilmer.
I think I'd have enjoyed him more with Val Kilmer.
Maybe. I don't know.
No, nothing against Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would have been weird. But I could have also seen if he didn't play the role of Nelson, he could have played the role with the one guy. It was Tommy, was his name, something like that.
It's been a couple of days since I watched it.
Who played Randy?
Which one was
the one that didn't die.
Oh, that was Oliver Platt.
Okay. I didn't know his actual name. I just put Randy, the only guy trying to make sense.
Yeah, that is Oliver. That was Oliver Platt. He was also the only one that really he was often the one that was messing with the dead bodies because that was his job. He was actually a mortician. But that's what he was going to school for.
Yeah.
He felt like the only person in the movie trying to be scientific about all of it.
Yeah, all the rest of it. Let's check it out.
And being like, oh, this is probably a really stupid idea.
Yeah.
But acting and cast, probably about an 8. Like I said, the one guy that I was talking about was the guy who was recording.
Oh, yeah.
If that could have been Malcolm, that would have been solid. That was stolen for the show. But that guy was the only one that was a non-notable actor. So only like the list of the five.
Skip plot.
Huh?
Skip plot.
No, we started with actors.
We just started with actors because they said it would make more sense.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
So acting, I give it an 8. I thought it was good acting. Julia Roberts played phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Smoking hot.
Super hot in that movie. I've said it before, my favorite Julia Roberts movie before was probably The Stepmother, which is a really good, sad movie.
I know.
But this probably becomes my favorite movie with Julia Roberts in it. I do like it.
Mine's Runaway Bride.
I can't think of any.
Mainly because all the rest of them, she's also in
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
Yeah, I've never seen it though. Pretty good.
All of them are basically rom-coms, except for this one wasn't.
I mean, it's close enough.
I guess.
There was romance and
they courted death.
Randy was comedic relief. Yeah. So there was romance and comedy.
Yeah.
So I gave it an 8.
Yeah, I'm honestly with you on that 8. The acting was good. I mean, it was very 1990s, over-the-top acting at times. Yeah. But I enjoyed that. I like a good.
I might have gave it. See, and that's also what goes into suspicions. I might have given it a 9 if Val Kilmer did play it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Val Kilmer.
You could have also bombed it. It would have maybe been a 7 as well. But
I've never seen him bomb a movie.
I don't think I have either. But it's good in it. It's why I didn't take the role. Yeah. I thought he wasn't going to do well.
Yeah.
All right.
An 8.
An 8. Yeah. 8s across the board. The acting, like I said, was a solid acting movie. We'll jump back up the plot now. Plot. I thought the plot was very forward with their intentions, but then it takes a turn. Kind of they're facing their own demons.
Yeah.
Which was.
I originally started thinking it was like a superhero.
Yeah.
Because when he was like, "Oh, I hear this and that," I'm like, "That's weird."
To be honest with you, from watching what happened to Kiefer Sutherland's character, what happened to Nelson in the movie, when he goes under the first time, like the way he was fiending for it, I thought it was going to be have a much different outcome.
Yeah.
I thought he was basically going to turn bad.
Yeah.
Like I figured everybody else was going to rebel against him. But none of us are doing that. And then he was going to force people to do it.
Right. So I was
By,
thinking like
grounding them or something crazy.
Like Grim Reaper complex.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah.
That's what I thought as well. I thought like he had crossed the line, or he had crossed the line, or he was going to cross the line at some point. That was going to be something came back and replaced him.
Yeah.
Like a demon found that, like there was going to be a gateway for a demon to possess your soul or possess your body. That's what I thought was going to be.
Yeah.
The outcome.
Yeah, I get that actually 100%.
Which is, I mean, could also be a solid movie.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought. So the plot did well by convincing me that it wasn't going to be. It wasn't. Like, I get the plot and I understand what was going on and knew what they were trying to do.
Right.
I think at that time period, especially in 1990, I think 1990 there was a big discrepancy of what happens after you die.
Yeah.
And I think that the way that this movie came out to give that limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other movies that came out in 1990 with the same premise.
See, and that's and so that's what I get the plot because it's like it doesn't make any sense. Why do people give a shit about it? Back then, it was a big discrepancy.
Right.
Leading to the plot.
The thing that was most weird for me about the plot, it's a movie about what happens after you die, and everybody lives.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so. And that's the thing too. Is I also don't think. I think they died. Like obviously they flatlined.
Yeah.
Died, but I don't think that's would have given them what they wanted. Because they wanted to know what happened after you died. I don't think that's what would have happened after you died. I think that was like a limbo period.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I don't think that was the full
like atonement.
I don't. I think that that's something you would have to face, and then like essentially because they had to. Like, Nelson ends up being beaten up in the real world when he comes back because his mind is floating in heaven and hell.
Yeah.
But I think that he is essentially that limbo period. If he dies within that limbo period, that's death. That's where that would send you to the next levels of hell.
Like if you die in a dream, you die.
Yeah. And I think that's might be the issue I have with it. They don't die necessarily.
Yeah. But it's also the same thing. They don't have answers because they couldn't get answers.
So they couldn't dive deep enough because you can't know what happens when you die until you are fully dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
but the whole thing they were just trying to figure out because all the stories around the world like this is what happened.
I've seen a
was
light,
dead, brain dead for X amount of time.
I seen a light, went to the light, told me it wasn't my time. The whole idea was to debunk that theory, which did well. Like I said, they were straightforward with that because they told you at the very beginning. I think we should do this. Nelson's a bit wild about his approach.
Yeah.
By really tackling to kill me. We're going to have this happen, which was wild. And it also, I don't know why they kept wanting to do it, because every time somebody did it, they got closer and closer to not being able to revive them.
I think it was a high. Like, honestly, it's kind of like, they're getting high on the fact that they might not. Like adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I guess, I see.
Which, interestingly, they have to give you adrenaline to bring you back. So, literal adrenaline junkies.
Yeah.
I gave it a 7. That was a good plot. They did pretty well with, like you said, telling at the very beginning, this is why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Without making it 30 minutes into the movie and not, why are they doing this?
Right.
It was.
So, I gave the plot a 6.
I was bouncing.
But for only the reason that none of those mother truckers are, like, any kind of brain damage. Like somebody would come
Robertson-
out of that with a speech.
Julia Roberts was under for like 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, like
And I don't remember the exact. What's the exact number of being breathless without taking brain damage?
like
I want to say it's like 10 minutes though.
Was it?
Yeah, I want to say like you can be legally dead for about 10 minutes before you suffer a lot of negative.
I'm just honestly that was the whole thing.
But I think it does take like
Yeah.
the longer you're dead up to that 10 minutes, the more I could be completely wrong.
The longer I watched the movie, the more like I don't want any of these mother truckers to be my doctor.
Well, my first note was if Kevin Bacon was my nurse, hell no, give me fuck.
I'll take my chances.
I didn't want to go. I did not want to trust the AI overview.
I get that.
I'm on Brooks rehabilitation, and it looked like it said 4 to 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So there's definitely some brain damage there.
Oh, that's unresponsive.
Like if they had the line from Ted 2, like, "Oh, you got me back, but my stuffing joke are wrong. Will you take care of me?" Like, yes, that is what I want. 10 out
According
of
to the
10.
National Institution of Health, the human brain can survive without oxygen for up to 4 to 5 minutes. During this time, the brain is not capable of functioning or anything near its normal capacity. So it doesn't say that 4 to 5. It can survive up to 4 to 5 minutes. So I imagine after 5, so about the 5 to 10 range is where brain damage is saying.
Yeah.
And she was under for 5 minutes and 25 seconds or some shit.
Yeah, so like there's some good chance they're coming back with some brain damage. That's the one that took me out of it a little bit. Honestly, otherwise, great film. Enjoyed it. Just
What'd you give it? What'd you say?
Oh, 7.
7.
okay.
Yeah, I'm giving it a
Like I
7.
said, I was going between 6 and 7.
Overall, because it did all eventually make sense.
Yeah,
And
it
how
all
it
came
was-
together.
Yeah.
The set, the quality of film, I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where the hell it took place. I think New York or New Jersey or some shit. I don't know. They didn't really say.
See, I care a lot less about where it took place, but like the set pieces themselves, I really enjoyed as far as
You're going set. Well, I'm going like the set. Like
the setting.
if they're supposed to be in New York, does it look like New York?
Well, when you sent me the thing, it says set quality.
Yeah, that was what you sent to me. Last year.
Okay.
It was in Chicago at the Loyola University in Chicago.
Actually, yeah, I feel like they do say that a few times.
Maybe they do. Actually, now that you're saying that, we're going to bump her up to a 5. So I feel like that's on. That one was.
And also on a note, during the same time period, probably the reason Val Kilmer didn't do it was he was between Willow and the Doors movies. So I don't blame him for not doing this.
I'd give the set an 8. Just the quality, the symbolism, especially they're in like a cathedral for all of this. I really like that aspect. Like
they're like an abandoned building.
it's something to
You're
do with
gonna
the
abandon
college
church
because they go
building?
back to there
Yeah.
because they already have the stuff there for it. But I just like the fact that it's
I mean, yeah, it had a
more
very
of the symbolism behind it, and it just it's really
It fit
cool.
what they were doing, and
Yeah.
it was discreet enough to seem like something they could have done.
it had like a modern day Frankenstein feel to me. So I kind of gave it like a 7. Like honestly, like the scienciness and the noir look to it. It felt very much like The Crows kind
I
of
could hear
setting
that.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. Especially, I mean, especially because like they were showing like some of the videos that they were recording on it. So, well, ours was a lot better than theirs.
Yeah. Right.
Predictability. I said it's not the most predictable. It seems to have some kind of curveballs every time, like solely based off of the paranoia and stuff that he was facing in the real world. I did not expect. Like I said, I did not expect that. So my predictability on it is very low, or very, very. I guess.
Because low predictability
is that you
is
can predict.
very predictable.
Yeah, so I got to give it like 8 or a 9 because I fully expected, like I said, I fully expected for a demon to take him over.
Yeah.
And that was, I had that 100%. I was like, all right, solve it. And then whenever everything started happening, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then it started to explain more because like even when you first see Nelson go under, you see the little boy, maybe it was him as a kid, and then you're like, okay, it wasn't.
And it does kind of take a little bit of a darker turn at the end, right before they bring.
And I also 100%, 1,000,000%. The biggest curveball of the whole thing was something I thought, and I convinced myself, which was the one dude. I gotta think of this. I gotta figure out this. Maybe he's not going to pop up. He's one of the main people in this meeting.
But honestly, I thought the movie was, after I kind of figured out the whole, it's their own sins they're having to face during their death, I was like, oh, okay, so this makes sense. Like, after that point, after I realized what was going on, it was like, okay. Got it.
His name was, it's William Bald.
No. One of the Baldwins.
Yeah, that's what I was like, what the hell? That's the way it was. No, it was William Baldwin was the guy who played
Joey.
Joey was his name.
It makes sense. He looks like Baldwin.
Kind of, yeah. Now
that you say it,
yeah. Well, I thought when he originally sees Oliver Platt in it, when he originally sees Randy, I thought he said that he was gay.
Ah.
So he was gay, and I was like, that's weird. Like, I don't care, whatever, he's gay. And then like when he was under, he's seen the visions of naked women. I was like, that's weird. Maybe he's lying about being gay, and that's what I thought 100% makes sense.
Okay, well,
lying about being gay? What the fuck's going on? And then that one took a wild turn.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was like, what in the hell is going on there? I was like, dude, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I gave it a 7 as far as predictability because I didn't really know how it was going to go. It did follow a basic formula beat with just how everything progressed and how they revealed everything. But that was just a 90s thing. So I knew what to expect, but it exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
Or else it'd be a lot higher.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to go with Daddy on this one. I think an 8 for me. Because, yes, it was predictable in the sense 1990s. The good guys lived, the bad guys, there wasn't any bad guys.
Actually, they were all bad guys.
Yeah.
Really? They all just...
Well, yeah, but they defeated the bad part of themselves to become better.
They beat their own demon.
So, yeah, they beat their own demon. So, I mean, like, it was predictable, but also, like, surprising. Like, you know, how big of dicks they were in their, past.
Especially Kevin Bacon.
I just always kind of assume Kevin Bacon's a dick in any character he plays. The first movie I ever saw him in was The Invisible Man.
Oh, his face always looks like it's so...
Yeah. I don't know. My first movie I saw him in was Invisible Man.
Me too.
And, like, it's kind of assume he's a bad guy and everything from that point on.
Really, you do. It's also, like, my first movie I ever seen Kiefer Sutherland was Lost Boys. It's bad in it. So, we're already starting off bad. Yeah. The two main characters in this they're bad.
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland for me was in Young Guns. He was just kind of bad, but like a jerk. Yeah, he was a jerk to Billy.
Kiefer Sutherland, he's also kind of a jerk in this to his own friends.
I think he's kind of a jerk in real life, from what I've heard.
Other than Julie Roberts' character, Rachel, Kevin Bacon's character, David, was probably one of the better of the group.
See, that's the thing is, I think Randy was fine.
Randy was fine, but he was almost indifferent to it. Like, he was do it. David wanted to be there to make sure it all went well because he did have an exceptional talent with the medical field, which was just weird for being just a medical student. But like,
it was the 90s. He was their Rocky.
They were all Mary Sue's.
Yeah.
Like, in their own field.
God loved the 90s and the Mary Sue's.
It was like taking the smartest kids from each group and category and putting them together to make this super team. And all they resulted with was haunting their own selves.
Yeah.
They gave themselves nightmares. That was about it.
So it was the Christian Bale Batman universe.
Yeah, kind of. Overall connect. How well do you think we've stayed on track? Of course.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was fluid.
It was very fluid. I don't think I can think of really any off the wall scene. Now that I know he didn't say he was gay in that scene.
Yeah.
'Cause I was like, strangely off the wall. Maybe he's like, I'm gonna be gay or something. That threw me off a lot. I was like, what's going on with this dude and girls? He's smart with all these women, but he likes men, he said earlier. I was wrong. That's kind of the biggest twist of the whole thing.
It's Braveheart all over again.
I might have watched the wrong movie. No, do I give it a 9 or a 10? Yeah, where are you at? Do you give it a 9 or a 10?
I'm giving it a 9 just because I'm unsure as far as some of the supernatural aspects.
Oh, okay.
Like, how. Like, not necessarily why they were there, but how they showed up. Because even towards the end, it shows that, like, Kiefer Sutherland Nelson is hurting himself. But, like, the dog, the following the Billy down the subway station. Like, how was he able to access the back part of the subway?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
just openly. It wasn't necessarily that it was disconnected, it was just they had almost a universal reason for why these things were happening and like
But
how
not-
you were seeing them, but not his. A lot of his were more extended hallways and stuff like that.
But I think his was because his was a repression of death. As everyone else's was a repression of like dirty deed.
Okay.
His was more of a repression of guilt.
Yeah.
Like, he
Essentially.
didn't feel like he should have been punished for it because he did do the boarding school thing, and like, he's like, haven't I been punished enough?
Yeah,
makes
because he
sense.
was ripped away from his family. Which,
Like,
yes.
his Joey's kind of made sense. Like, yeah, it really fucked with him, and then
But Joey's, I
then
think
he actually
Joey's
had the
made
most
less
outcome.
than Slater. I thought his made way, so his was way fucking stupid. But like whenever he was going back to his apartment, and he seen the one lady that he had sex with, she was talking to him. She's like, "You didn't call me back," and then he walks to the next one. It's another lady, and then it was another lady. And like, just happened. What are we
Yeah,
doing?
but all of that was just kind of leading up to the fact
But
that his
every other-
fiance found it.
But most of the times, every other circumstance when they did this, especially with Billy, the lights flickered like blue, showing the same realm that they're in. His was almost like they were just the real girls there.
His was more, I think, psychological torment,
Like now,
because that's what they basically did. He emotionally.
I could
now you're making me think this movie was better than I was giving it because the way you're describing it, and I just didn't put 2 and 2 together when I was watching it, is that everybody's experience of death is different.
Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, you've made me
Yeah.
like to go up to like from an 8 where I was at to like a 10 on this now.
I think in most situations, though, they were most of the all of them were experiencing the same form of death, which was guilt.
Yeah.
Every one of them was some form of guilt, but I think it was guilt to a different degree.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Uh,
Joey's was more
Guilty because
guilty that he got caught.
yes.
Um,
Well, not even,
Kevin's
he
was-
didn't even get caught. He got caught by his girlfriend at the end.
yeah, but I mean, as far as
His was
his
more.
was guilt that he hadn't been caught
Yeah, his
more
was
than anything.
guilt that the
Uh,
secret was going to. The secret could die with him or live with him.
Yeah.
Yes, and then like David's was more repressed. Like, he had forgot about that one until
He felt
it came
like
back up.
his was more like he changed so much that him as a kid, if he was himself as a kid, he wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So it was guilt as far as like, dang, I shouldn't have been like that.
Yeah.
And then
Then, like,
Nelson's was guilt that he got caught. I think his guilt actually was formed more that he killed his dog. Because the kid falling out of the tree lands on his dog and kills his dog. That's why his dog was there too.
yeah, but I think that was bringing it back to the forefront.
R.I.P. Champ.
Yeah. But I think it was just more. That's why, because his was a physical sin. That's why
Yeah.
he got physically harmed.
Yeah, I guess I should see that. Yeah,
Kevin, David's was verbal, so that he got verbally assaulted,
psychologically.
and
Yeah, I can see that.
psychologically for Joey, and
Well,
then even
What was
mental torment from Rachel's perspective because she thought she was the reason her father
Yeah.
had killed himself, reality was and that was more of closure for her. Hers was more about getting the closure because then
hers was about
he was
facing
doing
the fear to see what was going on.
Right.
Yeah.
To mentally unblock that
Yeah.
memory. Because I'm sure as a child she had saw that he did
it
heroin.
probably was the reenactment of what actually happened was she went up there seeing him dead. Not seeing him do it, but seeing him dead.
Yeah.
No, he shot himself in the car. Then shows him he ran downstairs, hopped in his car, and shot himself. That's what happened.
The heroin?
He did the heroin, but I think it brought back because he came back from war.
Yeah, so he
had the PTSD, which he had turned. It looked like, from my understanding of it, was he turned to heroin to combat the PTSD and the fear from war, and then because of already shooting up with heroin, the tambourine that she was playing with, like our buddy and the tapping on the table.
She felt like that was driving him crazy to kill herself. When in reality, it was the heroin.
Yeah, in reality, it was the heroin he was stripping. And
so he was a Vietnam soldier, right? I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
Based on time frame. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say time frame Vietnam. Gotcha.
Yeah. They all are experiencing the same element of death, which is guilt, but in different formats: physical, mental, verbal, and psychological.
Right.
So I wonder what Randy did. I wonder what he did. Why
he said his old Manny would be chasing around with half-eaten sandwiches because he kept eating her sandwiches.
Yeah. I wonder what it really was. He was afraid to go. He did not want to go.
Well, I mean,
I don't blame him. He just watched how hard it was to bring everyone else back.
And wasn't he like a mortician, you said?
Yeah, he was.
So, like, you see enough dead bodies, you don't want to join them.
Yeah, I mean,
you see enough.
He's hiding from something. Because he's like, these motherfuckers got up scared. I don't want to do that.
Well, they all came up blissful, and then they got scared.
Yeah, when everything.
Then the stuff caught up.
I think the only person that really came up blissful was Nelson. That was because he wanted a gaslighter.
So no, because Joey was. It was like it was
Yeah, but I think that was
ecstasy.
I think that's because he was gaslit. He thought.
I think he gaslit himself into believing that.
Because he's like titties. Yep, that's titties. I'm in.
Right.
Which leads me to my next note: titties. So I gave the overall connection a 9.
Okay, I'm willing to go with that. Honestly, I agree with that.
It did because like you said, even talking about it now, that's why we decided to do away with it. It was premeditated in the album now.
Yeah.
It's because we're able to really engage what others seen, so it could kind of differentiate what we might have seen. It could answer a question we had if somebody else knows the answer.
Yeah. Right.
So I do like that. The overall connection. Yeah. You gave it a 9. What'd you give it?
9.
You gave it
9. Yeah.
Okay, so next category is the twist. I know we haven't had many twists on here as of late. The last couple movies didn't have a twist. Troy doesn't have a twist.
Yeah.
Havoc didn't have a twist in it. We really haven't had. Buckaroo Banzai did not have a twist either.
The twist was you guys hated it.
Well,
that wasn't a twist.
I think that was the title actually. So the twist for this,
the twist was they weren't cowboys in space.
So the twist,
which is originally what I thought that movie was going to be about.
I really thought it was just going to be like the white man version of Pluto Nash.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually it kind of was.
Pluto Nash, at least in space. Twist. Pretty high on the twist. I want to give the twist 8, 9, somewhere around there. I'll give it. It's not the twist. Like I said, the twist for me was really that Kiefer Sutherland wasn't a piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, so that's what I wasn't even thinking about it that way. Okay.
Because he was willing to kill himself because he knew they wouldn't leave him under enough time to try to make what was right.
Yeah.
They definitely wasn't going to let him go under knowing what was going on already with their own minds. They weren't going to go under on the fear that they would see a vision and not be able to bring him back.
Right.
So him putting himself under, like,
the twist was he was either going to atone by doing it right or atone by killing himself.
Yeah. And by getting a hold of Julia Roberts, he put the trust in his friends that they would come through whether or not it'd be waking him up or bearing, and he knew it would come through with what was going on.
I still think the phone call was 100% like, you guys aren't going to be able to get it back.
Like a goodbye.
Yeah.
Like a last words, which is, and like I said, so that the twist that he survived. I mean, I could almost see, like, weirdly enough, Kiefer Sutherland's not one of his characters really so smart.
Yeah, no.
Very Sean Bean style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dies in Lost Boys. He dies in a lot of movies. So yeah, I'll give the twist out of 9. I did like the twist. Like I said, I definitely thought it was going a different way with him being like a Grim Reaper style.
Okay. Yeah. 100%.
And that was a twist that I had. That was a prediction that was not proven correct. So that would therefore a twist. The twist that like the little boy that he's seen, he was the one that he killed. The twist. The twist that everybody was evil in their own right except for Rachel. The 3 guys all did heinous things they should have done.
Yeah.
Especially one more than the others. Murder for sure.
No, I was thinking adultery.
I mean, for me, the whole friggin' movie's a twist. Like, I give it a 10 for me because it was a movie about what happens after you die, and nobody died. Like, essentially, everybody lived in the movie where everybody. I assume somebody would be dead in the end, or like they would all die.
I mean,
like,
truth be told, I think that's what they try to play with Cooper Sutherland's going to die.
yeah.
It was his idea to do it. He's going to be the one to grab the bull by the horns and die with it.
So
And
yeah,
then live. So yeah, I can also see that because you can definitely see him when he's telling her like goodbye. You're like, no, he's dead.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to get to him in time. Every other time they're knocking themselves out. They knock themselves out for 5 minutes. He's going to be out for months.
Yeah.
Because they have to get to it. And you don't know where they are on the campus. It did kind of seem like they got there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Curious about that. Back to the God Google.
Yeah, but 9 for I give it a 9 because there's certain movies in this world that I would give a 10 to in twist. Most of them are M. Night Shyamalan movies. That's because that man's a twist fiend. Here's a twist. M. Night Shyamalan was a writer was a producer for Stuart Little. It's a twist for him.
Another twist, Stuart Little wasn't about a mouse. It was originally about like a deformed kid who looked like a mouse. The look.
They switched it to a mouse.
Yeah, make it more kid friendly.
Um,
I don't know if that's true actually.
it'd be sick.
I think it is, but I haven't looked it up, so I've never read the book.
So yeah, I mean, the twist was really good. I had my notes says all the dudes were kind of pieces of shit.
Yeah.
I said their limbo effects followed them into the living world. Also didn't expect, but should have expected Nelson to have killed them. I did not expect that he